Hello and welcome to my page and welcome to the AI revolution. I'd like to take a quick second and talk about myself, just so you understand a little bit of background about me. I am a software developer from Southwest Virginia, born and raised, and I have been developing in the software world for about 4 to 5 years. And in November of 2022, when GPT-3 was released, I was absolutely mind blown by that technology. And I realized what you can do with these predictive algorithms. And it was like, wow, it's not just the generative capabilities of it, meaning I give you some text and you give me some back. I was amazed by saying something like, which one of these two sentences sounds better? And it being able to use its logic and reasoning to decide between the two. That is what really shocked me. Also, the ability to code and program, that is a very intricate thing to understand. And if a language model can understand that, it can do a lot of things. So that is when I decided I was going to quit my job and spend the rest of my time and probably my life dedicated to just learning everything I possibly can about this technology and helping a lot of people use this, of course, very safely. So since then, I've spent all my time learning about it, integrating into applications. And since I am a software developer, it was very easy for me to think of a lot of ideas of how you can integrate this stuff because I understand database structures, I understand servers, I understand the front end and the back end of things in many different languages, and all the things that you can do with AI involved. So that's when I started to really come up with some innovative ideas long before anybody had these YouTube videos about how to do it. So because of that, I do have some proprietary knowledge that I possess just from experimenting with this so much that you can't really find on YouTube video. I've worked with many different industries, with many different people, helping them integrate this technology. So that goes and spans across the law industry, to real estate, to car dealerships, to the PR world, to social media. I mean, you think at education, it spans across many different fields. So I've learned the ins and outs of what you need to think and consider when working with this type of technology in those fields. So here are some technologies that I've worked on personally that I've found really helpful and really useful. Obviously, the big one is OpenAI's GBT series. So that is the first model that came out. That is the one that's been getting the most attention. You had GPT-3, 3.5, 4, and now we are on 4.0, which is an amazing model and possesses some really awesome capabilities that we are probably going to realize later in the future, probably after you've already seen this video. So that is what I spent a lot of my time on initially, but then OpenAI also offers some really amazing things ranging from, speech to text, so taking audio, finding text in that or what people said, and transcribing that and providing it back to you, which is a really powerful thing. Whisper from OpenAI is very powerful. It is probably the most accurate transcription tool that we have out there today. Outside of, it doesn't have the live streaming capabilities like Google does or Azure does, but it's still the most accurate nonetheless. So I've worked with Whisper, I've worked with their Dolly series, I've gotten really good at understanding how those work. And now you've got assistance and you've got fine tuning, which is also something I've spent a lot of time in. If you can learn how to fine tune a model, you can basically do all these things. I've created all my frameworks and infrastructures around fine tuning themselves. And have very specific methodologies that I use to accomplish some really complex things that some people may consider close to AGI. But I won't get into that for this video. I've also worked with a lot of Anthropic's tools. So that ranges from Claude and their vision models, which are kind of the same thing. I've worked with Google, their Gemini models, and obviously all of their APIs that they have in their cloud. I've worked with Azure, which are now partners with OpenAI, and they host all of their technology on Azure as well. There are some other not language models, but AI models out there that exist, like, for example, 11 Labs, you've got Midjourney, you've got Runway, you've got Suno, you've got all of these amazing companies doing amazing things. Suno is a music generator, which I've played with a lot and tested a lot, and I can definitely say that the label or record labels out there are sweating very heavily right now because you and I can essentially go and make a production grade music or song essentially from our desk in about 5 minutes. And yes, it makes really good music, especially with the version 3 that was just released. I definitely recommend playing with that. 11 Labs, I've worked with all of their technology and their APIs. I've integrated that very heavily with OpenAI and Claude and Gemini and all of those tools, and also integrated those with Twilio on live calls. I've worked heavily with Midjourney and learning how their image generation process works. That is an amazing tool in itself, and they've dedicated all their time just towards images, which is amazing. You can expand images, you can make them longer, you can alter them, you can do a lot of amazing things, just like you can now with DALL-E 3, but it's quite not as good. DALL-E 3 is not as good as Midjourney is quite yet. So I've worked with a lot of these different AI providers, and one of them that stands out to me the most right now is OpenAI and Runway, because they are the ones that are working on the video generation models, which are going to be huge for media companies, which are going to be huge for, you know, these companies that produce different types of like media or content, I should say, like Netflix, movie companies, show companies, all these companies that make shows and movies and all that kind of stuff. Advertisements are going to become a much easier thing to create than they were before and much less expensive. So there are a lot of benefits that are coming out of this. And I've realized that very early on, and which why I've spent so much time dedicated to actually learning this and becoming an expert in it, because I want to be as helpful as I can to other people and teach them how to use this technology, which is a very fast growing field. And by the time you're watching this video, there's probably technology out there right now that I haven't covered on this video yet. So if you're interested in developing an application around this, completely front and back, or you just have some questions or something like that, I would be more than happy to assist you with that and see if I can provide you the most value possible in the shortest amount of time to save you time. So if you are interested, please message me. I'd love to see how I can assist. I would be very, very grateful to have the opportunity to help anybody integrate or learn more about this new tech, or just help solve some minor or major problems that exist out there. So feel free to message me and I'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.